so in that world, if I'm going to come in and invest in real estate, I would much rather be a lender, right? So I'm less, I guess, less susceptible to the varying tides of equity movement. So for us, whether it's on the corporate side or the real estate side, I look at credit or loans almost like a bit in a horse's mouth.
So besides solving problems, what would you say is the number one secret to building wealth through lending capital?
You know, I think of the market it is that we have right now, and I know a lot of your audience is really tailored and focused around, all things real estate. And if we look historically over the last, 1,000+ years to present day, as real estate has really always been a cornerstone of a family or a generation's wealth, whether it's you and me family, whether it's institutional family or legacy families that is through generations have always had a cornerstone of their wealth built in real estate. The market right now in real estate, I think, is odd, right? We've seen amazing kind of run up in interest rates, but there seems to be functionally still a disconnect in where sellers of those assets have not necessarily acquiesced to the pricing in that market, and there's still a little bridge there that hasn't been done. So in my mind right now, with where it is that the economy is from a real estate standpoint, I would much rather be a lender than an equity participant. And so since those valuations are a little bit all over the board, your $5 or $10 million property today, it's worth 10 today, it's worth 14 next week, and it's worth 3 the week after, based upon decisions it is in DC, it is that we can't control. And so in that world, if I'm going to come in and invest in real estate, I would much rather be a lender, right? So I'm less, I guess, less susceptible to the varying tides of equity movement. So for us, whether it's on the corporate side or the real estate side, I look at credit or loans almost like a bit in a horse's mouth, right? Like it's this 8-inch piece of steel that I can control a 1,500-pound animal with. Like I don't have to own the horse to control the horse. And so for me, if you structure debt correctly, you can easily get equity level returns with all of the protections of being a lender. And that's kind of the approach it is that we are taking. It is to not only develop, our personal and familial wealth, but to do that for, the people it is that we partner and invest alongside.
Okay, so it sounds like understanding the very nature of where we're at in the market cycle, especially given where cap rates, interest rates are at right now, and just the risk that's associated with owning assets. I love the way you put it. Credit or loans are like a bit in the horse's mouth. You can control the entire animal, and in that sense that if you can take a good solid debt position and still get the equity returns that a lot of people are looking for,
Sure.
right, or better, and you go, why, and less risk, why wouldn't you do that, right? And so that sounds like that's the first secret to this, is understanding the real estate to the debt relationship marketplace and the returns versus the risk. What would you say the next secret is there? Did I catch that right, the first part, Jeremy, or did you want to add to that or subtract?
No, I mean, I think that's useful, is just really functionally understanding, the time in the market. There may be times it is to where it is that you want to leverage up dramatically. It is because, you go back to a 3% interest rate, right? Or something like that. I mean, my family, we've just gone through the situation to where it is that we've formed our own kind of family, board and put all the trusts and stuff together. And one of the things that is we made a decision at is that sometime in the next 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, whenever it's going to be, I don't know. But if we ever get down to a point it is to where there is sub 3% interest rates again, I'm going to buy everything physically possible, whether it's an ice cream stand or an apartment building. We are going to acquire as much as possible until we get to that point in time. I think structuring things from a debt lens, just from all of the protections it is that it gives you, is probably a more prudent approach. And we're always eat your own dog food kind of guys, right? Like, I mean, we don't do anything it is that we're not doing ourselves.